The world of the future is unknown. Movies of the futurism genre such as The Matrix, directed by the Wachowski brothers, and Moon, directed by Duncan Jones, both explore the world of the future and what the effects of advancing technology will have. In The Matrix, I am looking at the features of symbolism, opposing ideologies, and costume. And in Moon, comparison and contrast, foreshadowing, and social setting. The first feature of The Matrix I am examining is symbolism. Symbolism is specifically seen in the film through names of characters, the choice between blue and red pill, and the use of sunglasses and eyes. All characters in The Matrix's names are symbolic of the role of the character in the film and the character's overall significance in the message of the film. The name Morpheus refers to the Greek mythological god of dreams named Morpheus. This is symbolic because Morpheus is the one trying to destroy the false dream world of the Matrix and awaken people into the true reality. The word morphing itself means to smoothly change from one image to another image on a computer. This is symbolic of Morpheus's role in the film, as his character holds the codes to the Zion mainframe computer. Morpheus is the one who is leading the forces against the machines who created the Matrix. The significance of his name, meaning God of Dreams, is that it demonstrates how Morpheus is in control because he knows that the perceived reality of the Matrix is only an image downloaded onto a computer and is in fact no more real than an elaborate dream. The second symbolic name is Trinity. Trinity, meaning three, refers to the important symbolism of the number 3. 3 means the perfect union, such as in Christian belief, the Holy Trinity, of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Therefore, Trinity's perfect union is the relationship between Neo, Morpheus, and herself. The parallel between these three and the Christian Trinity is evident. Morpheus is like the Father. He is the leader, the reason the other two are there in the real world, and he offered them the choice of free will through the red and blue pill selection, just as God gave free will to his creation. Neo is the Son, the chosen one who was sent to save humankind from the Matrix, just as Jesus, the Son, in Christian belief, was sent to save mankind from his own sin. Since the Matrix is a result of humans relying too greatly on artificial intelligence, and therefore its creation is ultimately mankind's own fault, the link between Neo and the Son is greater because both are sent to save people from their own doing, which is destroying them. Trinity is parallel to the third member of the Holy Trinity, the Holy Spirit. Her initial contact with Neo was through his computer, meaning she appears in different forms. She also gives Neo strength and guidance, as well as even breathing life into him when he dies. This is similar to the Holy Spirit in that she uses different forms to bring life, strength, and guidance. Together the three of them form the perfect three and the perfect union, and Trinity's name is symbolic of this. The third name is Neo. Neo is an anagram of one, alluding to the fact that he is the one who will save humankind from the Matrix. Neo's name in the Matrix world is Thomas Anderson. The name Thomas is symbolic of the doubting Thomas in the Bible, because at this stage Neo doubts himself and does not believe that he is the one. When he is Neo, he is becoming his potential self, the one, and the Saviour, like his Christ parallel did. The choice between the blue pill and the red pill is a second example of symbolism in the Matrix. When Morpheus offers Neo a choice between the red pill and the blue pill, he is effectively making him choose between free will and the fate-ruled world of the Matrix, where there is no such thing as real choice, because the Matrix is already pre-constructed by the machines. In the real world, people can make choices to determine their own fate, whilst in the Matrix it is a game of chance. Neo chooses the red pill, real life. The real world turns out to be difficult, dangerous, and much harder to find happiness than the computer-generated world of the Matrix. Cypher regrets choosing the red pill and wants to return to the false reality of the Matrix, believing that even fake happiness is better than the bleak reality where there may be no happiness. Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus all value free will above all, and that control over one's life is worth the pain that reality brings. The choice between the red and blue pill is symbolic of the major question which the film poses. Is it better for our lives to be controlled by fate or decided by free will? The final example of symbolism in the Matrix is sunglasses and eyes. Sunglasses and eyes in the Matrix are symbolic of the blurred lines between human and machine. In the world of the Matrix, agents wear sunglasses. This hides their eyes, and this, along with their monotonous voices and too perfect movements, contributes to the image that, although they are human bodies, they are not humans at all but machines. Eyes are generally seen as windows to the soul, where emotion and expression, key human characteristics, are portrayed. Hiding the eyes removes that window and hence gives a more machine-like, inhuman quality to the agents. However, the lines between machines and humanity are blurred when Agent Smith removes his glasses to express his hatred of humans. His eyes show his expressions of horror and disgust, and although he is only a product of artificial intelligence, he takes on a very human persona. Likewise, the human characters also blur lines themselves when they put on glasses. Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus are all human characters fighting against the machines, but when they fight the machines in the Matrix, they wear the same dark glasses and move with the same grace, precision, and expressionlessness as the agents of the Matrix. The use of sunglasses and eyes is symbolic in the Matrix of the connection between the two entities, the humans and the machines. Instead of being polar opposite, each takes from each other what traits they can to become more powerful. Humans use the anonymity and thoroughness of the machines to be less vulnerable in the Matrix. Machines take on some of the passion and motivation which humans use to drive them. It poses the question of what exactly humanity is defined by if artificial intelligence can match the human mind. This is a growing dilemma with the increase of technology occurring in today's world, as well as the futuristic world of the Matrix. The second feature I am looking at is opposing ideologies and worldviews. Opposing ideologies and worldviews are a feature used in the Matrix to display different perspectives on humanity's effect on the world today and in the future, and whether this is a positive or negative thing. Agent Smith presents a very negative view on humanity. He is disdainful of the fact that humans cannot exist with the perfectionism of machines.
As a species, human beings define their reality through misery and suffering.
He sees humans as a threat to the world, describing them as a virus who destroys the area they populate by exhausting the world's resources and multiplying until the area is destroyed. He presents the view that with the relative impact of human beings on the earth has been entirely negative, and hence a cure to the virus is needed. This is how he views the new world of machines, a cure to all of the harm humanity has caused the earth. This view is opposed by Morpheus and his followers' philosophy. They see the good in humanity and believe that it is worth saving. He fights for the free will of all humans as he sees the inherent good in the species and that the machines, being emotionless and cold, are without this. He sees the takeover of the machines as a consequence of humanity's mistakes, and he is attempting to redeem the mistakes in his work. Although he identifies these flawed aspects of humanity, he believes that the true common evil is not mankind, but the system that the machines created, designed to remove free will, and therefore any potential goodness from the world. The feature of opposing worldviews and ideologies is used in the Matrix to urge the viewer to consider man's impact on the world and whether through our existence all goodness is squashed, or if more can be created. It also deals with the idea of punishment or redemption, whether we can truly make up for our wrongs or if some things cannot be undone. Most of all, like many futuristic texts, the film ponders what the future will be if humanity continues on its current path of higher technology and less regard for our impact on the world. The third feature I am examining in The Matrix is costume. Costume in The Matrix is used to represent the nature of the characters. It gives the viewer information on who the character is as far as their role, status, personality, and significance. This can be clearly seen in the costumes of the characters of Trinity, Neo, and the agents. Trinity wears sleek, reflective clothes which cling tightly to her and make her look long and elegant. She dresses entirely in black and when in the Matrix wears dark-tinted glasses which hide her eyes. This tells the audience about Trinity's character. All significant characters in the film wear black, so it shows that she is a part of those fighting in the war between the agents and the machines and Morpheus' followers. The tight, flexible clothing adds to her image of fierce fighter because they give her mobility and can stretch as she moves in near impossible ways when she is inside the Matrix. The style of clothing is also representative of her personality. Sleekness and elegance are imperative to Trinity's role in the film as a calm and polished soldier who moves fluidly and is used to being in control of a situation. Trinity's costume is used to show that her character is significant, signify that she belongs to a group within the film, and also act as an outward representation of her inner character. Neo undergoes costume change in the film, and this is representative of the character's transition from someone unsure of themselves, who doesn't feel like they belong or are in their true place, into someone with a purpose and a mission which goes beyond himself. In the beginning of the film, Neo wears plain men-on-the-street type clothing. At his dull office job that he has in the simulated world of the Matrix, he wears a boring grey suit that hangs off him and gives him the very ordinary appearance. He dresses just like all the other people in the Matrix, who are insignificant and not a part of the higher purpose, merely pawns in the Matrix. This is because in this stage of the film, Neo does not realize that he is special, and so like the ordinary people of the Matrix, he is simply existing in the manipulated world. However, once he is recruited into Morpheus's ranks and is told that he is the key to the destruction of the Matrix, key to a higher purpose being fulfilled, his costume changes. He dresses like Morpheus, Trinity, and the others in their group, which now links Neo to their cause instead of being constantly isolated as he was inside the Matrix. His clothes are more fitting, have longer and smoother lines, and a much more solid black colour. All of this adds to the image of the new confidence he gains when he is identified as the One. Also, the costume change gives his character more significance, as he no longer looks just like one of the ordinary people whose lives are manipulated by the system. It shows his role in the film as key, and acts as a visual symbol of his completed transition. Costume is an important tool in showing the audience the change that Neo undergoes during the film. The agents in the film all wear the exact same costume. They wear a black suit, black tie, white shirt, and dark-tinted glasses. They are all completely identically dressed down to their silver tie clips and comb-overs. This makes them look like clones of one another, as well as identifying them as agents. The way the agents are dressed is designed to add to the image that they are not truly human, but a part of the machine system, simulated, too perfect, too identical to be natural. The sunglasses and lack of unique clothing both take away humanity from the agents by hiding any individualities or features that might distinguish one from another, such as eyes. Having the agents dressed differently from the other characters in the film shows that they are significant characters as a group, but their similarities also removes their significance as individuals. Agent Smith is the only one of the group who is ever singled out in the film, and hence he is the only agent to remove his glasses and be identifiable, as well as take on some human characteristics. Most of the time, however, the agent's costume gives them the appearance of the computer-generated, anonymous bad guy characters in video games. Unidentifiable men in suits to shoot down the human avatar or be shot down. There is nothing real about them. Costume is an important tool used to distinguish the agents from other characters in the film, link them together as a group, and remove the humanity from them, so they appear only as simulated parts of a machine. Symbolism, opposing worldviews and ideologies, and costume are all important features used in the film The Matrix, which contribute to the many themes which the film deals with. All add to the futurism of the Matrix and the ultimate question of what will happen to humanity in the future. The first feature I am examining in the film Moon is comparison and contrast. Comparison and contrast in the film is used to show the cycle that the clones go through when they are used and give the viewer an understanding about how the company works its unethical practices. The contrast is between the two Sam Bell clones. One is freshly awakened and the other is near the end of his 3-year cycle. The energy levels in the clones is vastly different. New Sam Bell is full of energy and more physically able. It can be seen as he works out in the rec room, running on the treadmill, punching the bag, and skipping fast on the rope. He is at the very beginning of his time on the moon, and is at the peak of his strength. Old Sam Bell is comparatively less energetic. He moves slower, sits around, and is much weaker and more sickly. He often is breathless and in coughing fits, and when he is hit, he bleeds far more than normal. He is clearly deteriorating. As well as this, the clone's mental energy is contrast. The old clone is very calm, reserved, and sometimes seems resigned to his fate. This is shown by when he cares more about keeping his model intact than looking for clues about other clones. He is unwilling to listen to the new clone's theories at first because it is easier to ignore it. Being near the end of his time, he is close to having given up. In contrast to this, the new clone is not at all reserved. He is easily angered, aggressive, highly flappable, and absolutely not willing to accept the injustice he is faced with. Being newly awakened, he has more energy and more drive to want to discover what exactly is being done to the clones. The ping-pong game is a clear example of the contrast between the two clones. Old Sam Bell is calm, reserved, and does not particularly care about the game, however he is more experienced and wins anyway. The other Sam plays aggressively and gets angry when he loses a point, because he is filled with energy and emotion. The contrast between the clones is used in the film to demonstrate that the clones come with an expiry date. They are human lives that are used for a period of time to profit a company. Seeing the clones as real people being used in this way urges the viewer to consider the ethics surrounding this issue, which is likely to be relevant in the future. Tackling possible future ethical dilemmas is a common feature in the futurism genre, and its purpose is to cause us to think about what is happening in the world today and where that path could take us in the years ahead. The second feature I am looking at in Moon is foreshadowing. Foreshadowing is used in the film to hint at what is going on before it is revealed to the audience with clues which do not appear to make sense or have meaning when they are on screen, but later on are known to hold meaning. In this film, near the beginning, it is foreshadowed that the main character, Sam Bell, is in fact a clone with a 3-year life being used by a company so that they do not need to hire extra personnel. All of his memories are edited uploads from the original Sam Bell's memory. An example of foreshadowing is Sam's sickness and headaches. Sam complains of headaches at the start of the film. He also appears to be unwell because he is often a little out of breath and tired. At this point in the film, the audience does not know that he is a clone near the end of his use, and there appears to be no significance to the mild sickness. However, once the information is revealed, these headaches take on a much more sinister meaning because they signify the beginning of his deterioration that has been programmed into him by the company, so that they may dispose of him once his 3-year stint is completed.
Yeah, my tummy's a little tender, actually. But thank you. Thank you, Gertie.
You're welcome, Sam.
Another example is the communications failure and the video message skipping. When Sam is driving out to the harvester, the warning "signal failure on long-range comms" can be heard. He complains to Gertie about Central not fixing the communications satellite, and he can only communicate with Earth through video messages. When his wife sends him a video message, it skips in a strange place. He has no live communication with Earth. As this is happening, its significance is not known to the audience. When the truth about the clones comes out, this also becomes sinister in meaning because it is shown that he was intentionally prevented from communication with Earth. Because the clones are not supposed to know that they are clones, and because presumably people outside of the company are not supposed to know that they exist, their communications are blocked. To keep the clone believing that he is the real Sam Bell, pre-recorded videos of his wife talking to him are sent to him and edited to be relevant to the last message that he sent. This is why the message from his wife was skipping, as it was part of the elaborate scheme to keep Sam from realizing he was a clone. It was edited from a pool of existing footage to be what he needed to hear at that time. Therefore, the audience can see that what at the time appeared to be an innocent technical glitch was actually foreshadowing the truth about what was occurring in the film. The third example of foreshadowing is Sam's hallucinations. As Sam was deteriorating mentally, he sees hallucinations of a young woman. It is not clear who the woman is until the very end of the film. Sam Bell thinks that he has a 3-year-old daughter because of the memories that are uploaded into his brain. When he manages to call Earth near the end of the film, he discovers that his daughter is not his daughter, but the original Sam Bell's. She is not 3, but a grown woman, and she is the woman he was seeing in his hallucinations. Whether or not it makes sense for him to be seeing the grown-up version of his daughter in hallucinations, it is a hint to the audience about what is to come, and that there was something more going on behind what could be seen at the start of the film. Foreshadowing is used in Moon to give the audience the idea that something is about to happen, or to hint at something in the future. In the futurism genre, where often situations are revealed slowly to create a large impact on the viewer being exposed to the world of the film, foreshadowing is used to help viewers begin to connect the dots. The foreshadowing helps drive the viewer to the sense that something is amiss in Moon, and therefore can more easily reach an understanding of the concept which the film puts forward. Hinting at the climax of the film also allows time for the film to build up Sam as a human character, and then revealing that he is a clone, instead of having to spend a lot of plot time explaining the situation. The hints help the viewer to make links so that the text does not need to spell it out. Foreshadowing is a helpful tool in movies in the futurism genre that, when used sparingly, can have an important impact. Too much foreshadowing, however, endangers the film of lessening the impact of the climax, so it is important that it is not overdone. Moon uses foreshadowing well in that there is still enough doubt left in the viewer's mind when the climax is revealed to have an effect. Foreshadowing ought to add to and build up to a climax, not reveal it early. The final feature of Moon that I looked at is societal, political, economic and social setting. This is an important aspect of the film. Society itself is not seen so much in the film, which is based on the Moon, with the only 2 characters that really feature being the 2 Sam Bell clones and a robot named Gertie. However, the whole film is underlined with the question of what the future society must be like for this to be happening.
Do you remember?
The clip at the very beginning of the film, an ad for Lunar Industries, the company that uses the clones, displays a near-perfect world. It describes deserts blooming, food shortages as the past, and all the energy mankind ever needed being accessed. It would seem, because of fusion energy from the moon, that the world is a better place, where many of the problems of today's society are solved. However, the company that has created all this good in the world is unethically using disposable human clones to produce it, presumably because it is a more economically viable option than training new personnel. This suggests that perhaps the world of the future as seen in Moon is not as perfect as it appears. It begs the question, what must society have come to warrant this kind of practice seeming necessary? And is a perfect world built on imperfect foundations really perfect at all? Or is it simply masking a darker truth? Although it is never mentioned, humanity has clearly come to a point where advanced technology is misused to fulfill a desperate purpose, and Lunar Industries is only one company. It is unlikely that in this world they are the only ones prepared to act unethically for the sake of profit when such technology as cloning is available. The film encourages the viewer to draw their own conclusions on this by focusing on the story of one man, a clone, and leaving the broader societal background open.
That's it. Over and out.
Moon is a futuristic film, meaning it has foreseen a possibility for the future based on mankind's current path and has explored the outcomes of this. As much as it is the story of one man, it is an examination of humanity and the lengths we would go to save our own species, or even just to save money, and what options we would have for this in a technologically advancing society. Societal, political, economic, and social setting is highly important in seeing the deeper meaning of the film, and causing us to look at possible implications of a world where increasingly more and more of the seemingly impossible becomes reachable. Comparison and contrast, foreshadowing, and societal setting are all important features used in Moon to put across the ideas and themes of the film. Through these we see a picture of one version of a future where all kinds of things are possible, and what this means for humankind. It adheres to the futurism genre in that it asks its viewers to think beyond the lives we currently live and ask ourselves where we draw the line with technology. Will there be a point in the future where we compromise ethics for the power of advancement? Both The Matrix and Moon deal with the future through the features I have looked at in order to make people aware of the path they are on and where it may lead them. The films, through showing us different possibilities, make us see that the future is still in our hands. No one can say where technology may take us in the years to come and what issues this may cause or solve, but as it stands, we have the power to choose.